Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great week. So, just a quick reminder I am doing my internship with Oak Hill Centers, working with disabilities of all types. Mainly lately, I've been working on two different projects. One of them is services for the blind, which I'm finding very, very fascinating. I've been doing this support group for people with uh, seeing eye dogs and for people who raise seeing eye dogs. And I'm learning a whole lot that I had no idea about. I know I've discussed this in part before. Um, I had my great uncle was blind, and my great aunt is blind. We lost him back in 2003, but my great aunt will be turning 100 in July. So, I have been around people who are blind, but I've never really been around anyone with seeing eye dogs. And it's fascinating to me some of the stuff that I'm learning about how they interact with the world. People want to come up and pet their dog, and this is something that I didn't even think of before, but that they get very frustrated with and upset about because their dog is working. Some of them even have signs uh, on with their dogs saying, "Please don't pet me. I'm working." And it distracts the dog from doing what it's supposed to do, which is to help the person who's blind. People want to come up to them in stores and even things like come up and ask them questions about being blind. What's it like to be blind? How did you get changed and get dressed today and match your clothes? Things like that we don't really think about, but then people, I'm sure they're not doing it to be mean. They're just curious, but these are people. They just want to be treated like normal people. And would you go and ask uh, some person who isn't blind, how they got dressed today? So it's fascinating to hear this stuff that we don't really even think about. The second thing that I've been working on, and I've been working on this for the last 5 weeks or so, is these evaluation forums. Oak Hill Centers and the entirety of Oak Hill have never done evaluation forums before, which I think is amazing considering it's been around for over 110 years, and there are 1,400 employees that work for them. So right now have been doing a lot of research and trying to put together these different evaluation forums. What I'm trying to do is to put one together for each of the different different Oak Hill centers, of which there are 8 of them. And then I'm trying to put together another one for each of the for my field instructor to use for the 8 people that she supervises. Which the 8 people she supervises are the 8 directors of those different facilities. So, I've kind of been doing research on what kinds of evaluations there are, and there are a ton of different options that I never thought of or even really considered. Just going to go through a few here that I've found that are kind of interesting. Management by objectives, where the employee and the manager set objectives at the start of um, the evaluation period, and then those are revisited at the end. It's kind of a goal oriented kind of approach. There's a critical incident method where managers write down positive and negative things throughout the entire performance period, and then those are gone over at the end of that period. Um, Behaviorally anchored rating system of the bars. That's what you would think of kind of more like a Likert scale, where skills are rated. 1 is extremely poor, 5 is extremely good. Degree performance appraisal method. That's where managers actually elicit anonymous feedback from coworkers, from the employees' coworkers. So you're kind of being evaluated by your peers that way, and then those are gone over at the end of the review period. Then there's checklists and weighted checklists that you can do, where it's similar to the bars, but it's more of, did you meet this goal? Check, and leadership skills, motivation, punctuality, that kind of thing. And the weighted checklists are where more weight is given towards certain items, certain skills that are more important for that position. So I've kind of been going through all this stuff, trying to determine what the best ones are. Then there's so many more. I just gave you a few, but there's so many more. So my question to you is, uh, what is your experience with evaluation forums? Have you ever had to evaluate other people? Have you been in a supervisory position where you've been doing the evaluations, or been evaluated yourself? So I'm looking forward to your feedback, and I hope you all have a great week.